Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
cover true crime on this show, and we've been covering the case of this beautiful 9-year-old girl. Oh, thank you, Lisa. It's nice to see you. Porky Pig, nice to see you. Melanie, Sonia, Laura, good morning. Rose, Sonia. Oh, I said Sonia. I remember saying that. The Real Me Too, SRK, Mama, Rose, Melanie, Lisa B. Always, Just Jen. It's nice to see you. Laura, Vicky, hello, my loves. Nightbox is doing it. My Nightbot is doing its thing. Louise, it's nice to see you, love. West Virginia, Dixie, hey, hey, hey. Jewel up in the house. Ganja girl. I haven't heard that word in a long time. Since my 20s, but hey, whatever. Come on. Terry, it's nice to see you. Daffy Dog, hey. Just there. Nice to see you just there. I'm over here. Gigi. Boo Home Betty is present. Who else do we got? I think that's about it. Ganja girl. It took me a second. I'm like, wait a minute. I haven't heard that word in a while. It's 20s. I didn't inhale. Okay, I promise I didn't inhale. I'm gonna pull Bill Clinton. I heard Bill Clinton's not doing too well these days and age. I heard he's got like one foot on a banana peel and the other one in like the grave and stuff. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. It's what I'm hearing. I did not inhale. Okay, Jitterbug, it's nice to see you. I know Little Orange Man's going to be coming through here. We had a lot of people. I keep forgetting, people. We get so many people, and then some people go bye-bye, and some people stay, and it's like I forget some of the people. Merle's mom, I miss her. Haven't seen her here for a while. Nice to see you guys. The Real Me Too. Good morning, my love. So we've been dealing with this this case is really I gotta say it's going from, hey YouTuber, it's nice to see you. It's really going from crazy to crazier. Okay, I know you guys are here because you guys see my thumbnail. Mom fled. Okay, we're gonna break this down. Is she in the state of California right now? She probably is. Has nothing to do with the thumbnail. We have been sitting here scratching our heads about this case, and we are like, why Nebraska? Why Kansas, right? Did she watch The Wizard of Oz? Did she get some magic shoes and click them and say, I want to go home? I want to go home. I don't know. Is that why they fled to Kansas? I don't know. But this isn't the first time she fled out of state. This is not the first time she's fled out of state to keep her daughter from being taken. That is right. Okay? We have an MO. This isn't the first time. We have history, folks. We got some things that aren't right in this case. And we're all believing, could this mom have done terrible things to this child? We know moms can. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Hey, Kathleen, it's nice to see you. Ashley, good morning, guys. Welcome in. Oh, by the way, the reason why, if you guys would love to gift or sit, I didn't set a goal this morning. But don't let that stop you. We always appreciate those beautiful things. But I ordered more decks of cards. I don't know if I told you. So now, not only are we going to have affirmations for badasses, we got 3 more decks of cards coming. And these are going to be inspirational. It's going to be moody. We've got several different variations. I got some that come in little squares like this. Got some more that are like this. But we're going to start inspiring ourselves on this channel. Pete, it's nice to see you, my love. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if I just ate too many of those gummy lifesavers or not, but I haven't picked them up in a while. Well, I shouldn't say that. I picked them up last month. I'm not eating them like I used to, like I once did. Okay. I think my stopping the vape and stuff like that. I think I'm starting to stay, stable off. Am I saying that right? I feel like that doesn't sound right. Like I'm stabling, I'm getting stable. I had a good oracle cards with beautiful affirmations. Ooh. You have to send me the link. I got 3 more decks of cards because I love this. I love this. But you know what I did find out is when we get a little wild up in the Bullhorn Betty channel, we go through these cards pretty quickly. And I don't want to get down to the ending of the cards where I got to take the last card, right? I'm just saying. So we got some more coming. I'm so excited. I do too. I know. I had so much fun with them. I really did. And so when it made me feel good. And not only that, it's been a while since we've laughed on this show. Like I was literally laughing. Oh, I know. I got to be honest with you. There were times, like even now, it's like, if you know my history, so let me just back up here. We'll get on with Melodee's case and everything like that in just a second. But you guys know my history with the substances and stuff like that. It's like, once you're an addict, you're always an addict. No matter how well you get, you'll never be well. You're like 1 foot from doing it again, right? And I have to think about that with everything because there are some days, like I know, okay, I'm a realist, okay, you guys know that. Whether I like the stuff coming out of my brain or not, I am a realist, okay? So I know in my brain that the nicotine is fully out of my system, okay? I have no nicotine fits, no real nicotine fits, okay? I will tell you that. It is out of my system, okay? There is no nicotine in my blood. I'm not doing patches, I'm not doing vapes, I'm not, sneaking around, I'm not doing anything. So I know for a fact without any time, like I'm a realist, I know there's no nicotine. I wake up and sometimes I swear I have a nicotine fit and I know, and I have to tell myself, I know. This is how screwed up these addictions do to your brain, okay? And I have to remind myself every time I have one of those urges, it's out of your system. Why would you put it in your system? It is out of your system. Why would you put it in your system? And that's how I get through some of those. And I take deep breaths. When I feel like one of those urges coming on, I have a habit of, and I'll just hold it. And it just does, it releases it. It does release it. I will tell, these are the things that are working for me. Now, I don't know if they're going to work for somebody out there. Oh, we love the Team Foul Play shirts, folks. This is a perfect case for a Team Foul Play shirt. It surely is. Because we are on Team Foul Play with this one. But that's kind of how, so hopefully if it helps anybody else. So if you guys want to know what my trick was, the worst of the worst was going from the actual cigarettes to the vape. It was the worst. I was miserable. And once I got adjusted to the vape, I did not want to go back because I never wanted to go through that again. It was miserable. I will not lie to you. I was absolutely, utterly miserable. I was angry. I was foul-mouthed. I was short-tempered. I'm already short anyways. I mean, I'm Bullhorn Betty, so I got like very limited patience. I'm working on it. I've been working on it for 46 years too. I'm just saying. It hasn't helped. But, it was just, that was the worst part of it for me, was going from so I have to think if you're going from the cigarettes to the patch or cigarettes to the gum, it's miserable. It is absolutely miserable. The difference between me and say Chris with the Mob Crew, I think, is because I already did some of the worst. I went from the smoking to the vape. And I think that was the worst part of it. Now, going from the vape to the patch was kind of brutal, but not near as brutal. I don't know why. But for me personally, it wasn't as brutal as going from the actual cigarette to the vape, or the actual cigarette, because I've done the actual cigarette to the patch too, and I wasn't able to get off with that way. So Chris doing it cold turkey, he probably didn't want to fluff with it. I don't know, but it was hard for me. But that I did back in 2021 in front of Brian Laundrie's house. I went through all of that during that time. So this part, like by the time I got to the patches, I think it was, I don't know. It was just crazy because when I put the patch on, there's just a time when I'm like, is this thing really working? Is it really working? You know, because you're stuffing shit in your face. Is it really working? Is this patch really working? I just want to know, should I go put another one on? I'm not sure if I should go put another. Should I put another one on? I'm not sure if I should put another patch on. So by the time I went through like 2 months of these patches, now by this time, tell your best friend happy birthday. Oh, thank you. I will absolutely do that, Melanie. I will absolutely do that. Thank you so much. So I'm sitting here, and so by the time I get, I'm like, do I go get, step 2? And I remember I had step 3. Like I had step 3 patches in this house. And so I put them on. I didn't see a difference. I went from step 1 to step 3. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it's a psych-op with the patches or not. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not going to say one way or another. All I'm simply going to say is when I stepped from 1 to 3, I couldn't tell. So I finally, after 2 days of the 3, I just ripped it off my butt. And I'm like, you know what? This ain't working for me. I'm just going to stop. At this point, if I can go 2 days on a patch, on a 3, and I'm as doing as good as I did 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on a 1, I just pulled it off and said, whatever I've got to deal with now at this point, I'm just going to deal with, right? And so I went through the house and I took all the vapes. I just threw them out. So that's what's worked for me. Now, am I going completely, like I said, in my brain, I know that there is no nicotine in my blood. I know that I'm through, but I tell you what, I can feel it in my stomach. Every now and again, I can feel that angst, that crave. And I'm like, what? Still. Will it ever go away? I don't know. Am I going to be like, I am with my substances? I'm always going to be an addict. I'm always going to be a smoker. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Okay, anyways. All right, let's get on with our case. So we have this beautiful 9-year-old girl. Her name's Melodee Beatty. That's who does our, Melodee Beatty. Melodee Buzzard. If you guys want to know why I'm saying Melodee Beatty, is because that is the language of letting go author, and it just rolls off the tongue. And we've been listening. We haven't listened to that in a really long time. We haven't read our affirmations. I actually lost the book. I have the journal. I did find the journal, but we haven't used our language of letting go in so long. I have literally no idea where the book is. So I'll have to look for that. Maybe we'll read some positive affirmations that way. But let's get on with this case here. So this is a case of a 9-year-old girl. Really a bizarre case because this mom literally stripped everybody out of this child, like any family out of this child's life. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like there's drugs, there's substances. I said that from the very beginning because I have been doing this for a while. I've come up with 3 basic principles of terrible parents and terrible people. Okay, and not everybody that do these things are going to be terrible people or want to be homicidal maniacs. But there are 3 key ingredients that I find in every single one of my cases, okay? And those 3 ingredients are, and it's 1, 2, it's 1, 2, 3, 2, or all 3, okay? It can be a single item, it can be a combination of items, or it can be all 3. And that's substance abuse, alcohol abuse, and home violence. If somebody has home violence, they're going to be violent individuals. And usually I find home violence associated with 1 and 2, either substance abuse or alcohol abuse. We've been saying those 3 key ingredients for literally the 5 years that I've been on here because I study crime. And I research crime. And it is my full-time job, part of my full-time job. I actually have basically 2 full-time jobs. I stay here and work all day long, and my jobs are true crime and politics. Those are the only 2 things that really perk my attention. They're the only 2 things I'm heavily, heavily involved in. They're the only 2 topics in my life that I commit a good portion of my overall life to. Politics, true crime. Okay. There's not really a whole lot of gray area between them. And I believe both go hand in hand with each other and with one another. And that's why we do this. Hello, hello. Am I missing anybody? Have I forgot to say hi to anybody? Louise, I think I said hi to you, but if I didn't, when I don't have a cig, I can't drink coffee. I've been doing good. I know, I was the same way. And I just want to remind everybody, put a thumb up in the chat. No matter if you're a lover or a hater, it doesn't matter. Just for this coffee cup alone, thank you, the real me too, by the way. I deserve a thumbs up. We have 87 people in our chat right now. Yep. And even you haters in the bushes, this cup, admit it. And if you have to admit it, then you have to put a thumb up in the chat. I'm just saying, rules are rules. I don't make the rules, okay? I'm just required to follow them just like you. Just saying, okay? So I did want to let you guys know, I did send out that email to Ms. Sick yesterday about the Social Security. You guys knew I was never expecting to get a response back from the public information officer. It was more of an, kind of like, let's not forget about the Social Security. Let's not forget to pull that for her. What you guys know, my mentality on any given case is pressure. That is the one thing that breaks pipe, pressure. Okay. So one of the, hey, Cinderella, Terry, it's nice to see you. Ashley, HM, it's nice to see you, love. Good morning, folks. But you guys know, more than anything in this world, the one thing that I agree with the most is a pressure campaign. Pressure breaks pipes. That's what I like. I like pressure. Okay. And so anytime we have a person, a suspect, my only motivation in any case is pressure. Okay. I want to pressure that person, even if it's law enforcement doing bad, not taking cases seriously or whatever. You guys seen me. We do things to pressure law enforcement, to pressure DAs. It is about public pressure. And that is one thing that we excel very well at on this channel. Now, typically, when it comes to the Bullhorn Betty channel, hey, Edna, it's nice to see you. We go out and we do, front of homes type of pressure campaigns where we sit out there. We let the people inside know who we are and why we're there. And then we start going into our diatribe of information that we know about about their particular case, letting them know that we know this, letting them know that we know that, and applying pressure to the people inside that house to start, breaking apart. It appears that there are people out there in that community that are already doing that. And I couldn't be any more pleased to know, because once upon a time, that really didn't happen at the rate that it should happen. I absolutely believe in protesting in front of people's homes. I think it's a very effective way of applying public pressure. But you want to do it skillfully, and you want to do it respectfully, and you want to do it above law and above board. So here's the history of this particular case for those that are new or just coming to the case. So on October 14th, and there's some information that we've learned, like for example, we now know that our timeline we need to make, because over there on October 14th, we say Ashlee returns without Melodee. That is inaccurate. We found out just yesterday that our timeline now needs to show 10/10. So 10/10, October 10th is when Ashlee actually returned back home without Melodee. So on or about October 14th, 2025, there was a welfare check and a missing person report received for Ashlee Buzzard, a 9-year-old girl out of Santa Barbara County, California. Her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, refuses to cooperate. Upon investigating, it was determined that the immediate family has not had any contact with Melodee or Ashlee in years. Rubiel's family, which is this child's father, which was unalived by a motorcycle accident, about 5 to 6 months after she was born. So Rubiel's family has not seen them in over 4 years. And while her own mother, Lori Miranda, has not seen her daughter or her granddaughter in a year or a year and a half to 2 years, Many people close to the investigation state Ashlee has mental illness and severe bipolar disorder. Upon speaking with the Lompoc Unified School District, they saw the child back August of 2025, but have not seen her since. Hey, blessed happy Nana. Panda Bear's mom, it's nice to see you. Ashlee, good morning. Who called the missing persons report in the school? And you guys know that that's never good. But we're going to continue to go over because I'm starting to see something here. And I think this might be a good thing for Melodee. Reopened. It is reported that Ashlee recently rented a white Chevy Malibu. Law enforcement believe Melodee was with her mom, and they left October 7th. Since this was put together, we do have proof of life, October 7th. We also learned Ashlee drove to Nebraska and used Kansas as her route back home. But when she returned on October 10th, Melodee was not with her, and the investigation began October 14th. We don't know when, well, we do know when her last assignment was completed. They answered that question, and that was about 2 months ago. So 2 months ago, let me write that, because we do have some answers to some of the questions we sent out. How much contacted or attempted contact did the school make before the wellness check? I believe a significant amount of time. They did send us, they did provide us a update that with their truancy protocol. So we do know. Who was friends with Ashlee? We still don't know, but we do know a black Lincoln picked her up to take her around to try to rent cars, which I do believe is an option, possibly to flee again, because she has done this before. That's what the thumbnail is all about, and we're going to go into it. We've been asking, when did she live in Iowa? When did she live in Iowa? We have no idea when but I think we're getting closer to that answer. She did live in Iowa. She did flee the state. She did live out of state for a while. And she lived out of state because Rubiel's family was trying to get custody of Melodee. So we already now have a behavior of Ashlee. When people try to take her daughter, she flees the state. Okay? We have her fleeing the state. We have the state trying to take her daughter, and she flees the state. This to me is a positive message, because this tells me she has a behavior of fleeing the state with her daughter to keep her daughter from being taken from her. Therefore, she wants to keep her daughter. Therefore, she's not looking to injure her daughter or overwhelmed by her daughter's presence. I think this is a positive development, that possibly a positive development we're learning in this case than not. So I know that people are here. They're going to say, what do you mean she fled the state? I'm not saying now. I believe she's holed up in her house right now, and I believe that there's an angry mob of supporters for Melodee, angry, not violent, mob of supporters for Melodee sitting outside of her home. I don't think she's going to be able to go much of anywhere, and I bet you she regrets even leaving the house at all to try to go rent a car. Why she was unable to rent a car, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have, maybe they have frozen her bank accounts. You know, we don't know what law enforcement is doing to her behind the scenes to equally apply pressure to her. I know that I've reached out to the public information officer to confirm that she has reported her daughter missing and has stopped receiving Social Security. I didn't expect the lady to write me back. I just wanted to, put it at top of mind, so if they're not thinking about that's another spigot that they can turn off to help apply pressure to this mother. But the mother fled at one point to Iowa, and now this time she's fleeing to Nebraska/Kansas, or it appears she went to Nebraska, and then when she was coming back, she went through the state of Kansas, the way I'm understanding it. And if that's the case, well, this is a positive. She should be arrested. This is a positive development for this, because this means that most likely Melodee is alive. Most likely she has somebody that people aren't paying attention to or don't know is in her past, that she has a way to communicate with or just show up at their house. And this is in that area. Iowa is right next to Nebraska, which is right next to Kansas. So now we're kind of getting our links there. I feel like red flags. I do too, Ashlee. I'm staying positive on this one because I'm seeing a history. Let's read it. Let's read it so you guys understand why I kind of feel this way. Let's put this up here on the big screen. So this is the article that kind of expresses some of the things going on, and it was related to the vigil they held for Melodee. It sounds like they held this out in front of Ashlee's home. Again, kudos to them, because this is, in my opinion, this is how we apply pressure, okay? I'm all about the pressure campaigns. I'm all about being in the face of people. You know, you got to be on public property. You can't be up on their property. You got to follow the law. But as long as you're following the law, I'm gravy, right? You out there, you holding signs, this is an organic protest in front. I'm gravy with that. I love it. I love it. You guys know I love it. I would love to be out there. I actually ran some numbers to go out there, and it looks like we could get out there for under $2,000. But the problem is I truly, you know me, I like to apply the pressure, but at the end of the day, I also like searching for the individuals that are missing. And the problem I have with going out there to the Lompoc community is the fact that I really truly believe the search is in Nebraska, or I think Nebraska. I feel like she met somebody. I feel like there's a reason why she fled to Iowa. That's an oddball state from somebody that's in California. So it tells me she knows somebody. That's how I found you, Betty. I was listening to Polly, and you were at Manuel's with the bullhorn. Y'all my kind of people. Yeah, you know. It's one of those things where we just, I feel like you got to be out there and in people's, you got to let them know that they're not getting away with it, because in their mind, in their sick, twisted mind, their mind's telling them if they just do this or they do that, nobody will figure this out. And sometimes I feel when you kind of start breaking down the case, I didn't go to Emmanuel, but I think you meant why am I Quentin? I think you're talking about Quentin. We've been at in front of several people's houses, and one of them was Quentin Simon's house. The other one was Don Wells and Gabby Petito. But okay, was somebody say? Well, that's because I think they were talking about me because Dolly was out at Emmanuel's, and he used to never travel. We kind of, you know, popped his little thingy on traveling and going out in front of people's houses with Quentin Simon. So he was out at Emmanuel's, and that's probably how my name got brought up. But I couldn't afford to go because I have some court stuff going on here, civil stuff that needs to be resolved so I can get out there. But I'm working on trying to figure out something, because, you know, we got to get out from this house and start making some real money. And getting out there and getting these cases done and going and showcasing a lot of this stuff that is out there. And we just can't do that from here. You know, nobody is like, my content is my content. You guys don't understand how valuable that copyright content is, right? It's sellable content. It's something that helps keep this channel going every single year when we sell those content. And we can get out there and stuff like that. You got to remember, everything that we're showing here is somebody else's work. We do not have our own content. The only time we get our own content is when we're boots on the ground. And so that stuff right there, it is what it is. You know, we're here. We can't do a whole lot. We don't have the in when we're not out there boots on the ground. Not only are we not getting the content, but we're not getting the dirt. We're not getting the real information. When we're out there boots on the ground, we usually know what happens in these cases within 30, 40 minutes. People are there telling us everything that we need to know. You know, people don't understand that. You don't get that sitting here behind these. Like it's not an effective way of doing business if we're trying to find the truth. Right? That's all it comes down to. People thought the lady with the bullhorn was Betty. It was not. Oh, was somebody out there with a bullhorn? I love it. I love it. I love people being mistaken for me. I love it. I love it. That's great. That's great. But that's okay. You came to the right place, Ashlee. He came to the right place. Usually I'm the one out there. I'm usually the one going out there and doing this stuff. But either way, we found out a lot of stuff. So let's get to this because I think that this article is pretty interesting. So about 25 people are gathered out in front of the house on Mars Avenue on Friday evening. Outside the small home where detectives first knocked in search of the 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard nearly 2 weeks ago. So she's been missing for about 2 weeks. The vigil drew relatives from the child's late father's side of the family, nearby residents, friends, and television crews who lined up the otherwise little Vandenberg Village Street. Attendees were led in prayer with bowed heads, candles in hand, passing the flame from one small white candle to the next, with praising music played softly from a portable speaker. A dozen homemade posters demanding Melodee's whereabouts line the front lawn of the house where the mother, Ashlee Buzzard, still resides. Among those present were Marvin Meza, brother of Melodee's late father, Rolando Rubiel Meza, his wife and children, his sister Bridget, his mother Lily. Also attended while Michelle Hernandez, Ronaldo's former girlfriend, who remains close to the family. Rolando Meza died in 2016 in a motorcycle wreck in Santa Maria when Melodee was just 6 years old. In the years after his death, Meza's fostered, so here we go. So now their family, the Meza family, fostered Melodee for several months. So there was something going on where they had to foster Melodee for several months, hoping to adopt her and keep her close to her father's side of the family. So here is where the fallout came from the father's side of the family, in my opinion. Okay. Marvin Meza, who said little during the vigil, admitted feeling bitter about how the courts handled Melodee's case earlier in the years earlier. Had the courts left Melodee with us, she wouldn't be missing, he said quietly. Our kids are doing good. As parents, we can say they're doing well, he said. His wife, who asked not to be identified, added that the court failed her and us. We have 5 kids between us, and everyone is doing great. So there was a huge problem with this family. The family did not want this child with their mother. So now we see the disconnect. This is explaining a lot. This whole article explains a lot. So that side of the family feels that this mother was not a good fit for her daughter. They tried to get the daughter. They tried to care for the daughter. The courts wanted her back with her mother. And had they, of course, the bitterness from the family, had she been with them, none of this would be going on right now. But the courts knew better. And this is California. We do not have any good things. Hey, Sue, it's nice to see you. We have nothing good to say about the state of California when it comes to children. None. I do not like the state of California at all. It's failure after failure after failure after failure after failure. You guys want to save your children? Get rid of your government. Replace them. Top down. You guys need change. She and others noted that Ashlee legally changed Melodee's surname from Meza in 2021. So she wanted this family to feel her anger. She went in there and changed her daughter's name. Her late father, the man that gave this child birth, that lost his life after only seeing and getting to know his daughter for 6 months. She went to court because she was so bitter and angry at his family and changed her last name from Meza to Buzzard. She wanted her daughter to have nothing to do with that side of the family. That's sad. But it shows you a very deeply jaded and angry woman. Okay? So this is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, guys, because this is a possibility. This tells me that her daughter might still be alive. After the court placed the child back in her mother's custody, she changed the name immediately after, it sounds like, she got her custody. As she organized water bottles and guided guests toward the candlelight circle, Lily wiped away tears while showing visitors photo of her late son with his daughter. We all saw that. It's sad. He was so young, she said softly. It's like he just died yesterday. She has 2 sons that lost her life, and now she's grieving the absence of her granddaughter, who she had not seen in several years. She recalls receiving a late-night phone call from social services on Thursday asking when the last time she spoke to Melodee was. She jumped out of bed, she said. The family once planned to adopt Melodee, and that she had already began the paperwork when Ashlee withdrew the girl from the Santa Maria. Here it is, right here. So she took her daughter and withdrew her from the school and reportedly left the state. So there you go. Mom fled the state with Melodee to keep her from being taken from her. Okay? Now this, and to me, just to me, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but to me, this is super, super, super important. Oh, and then after this, I've got to go through my avocation for YouTube. Piece of shit YouTube. I'm going to keep saying that. YouTube can keep freaking shadow banning me. But we'll get into that. Melodee Buzzard was taken out of state by her mother. I truly believe this is when her mother went to Iowa. This is the only time we hear that her mother left the state. We learned when we did the background check that her mother lived no other place but California, with one exception. With one exception. Out of her entire life. California, 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 California. Except Lee Street, Marshalltown, Iowa. I have been saying something for days. Days, okay? And what I've been saying for days is that there is a reason why she went toward Nebraska. And when we realized Nebraska was right next to Iowa, I started saying something's here, folks. I told you guys all that something's here, something's here, something's here. And when we looked at the map, we realized Iowa is really on the other side of Nebraska. She lived in Iowa. She had to have made friends in Iowa. What would call her to go to Iowa? I would think that she'd either have to have a distant family member that she knows or friends from school that she knows and trusts. A woman from California is not going to flee to Iowa. You know what I'm saying? They're going to flee to maybe Washington, Oregon, Utah, Idaho, maybe Las Vegas, right? Someplace close or closer to their state just to get out of the state. Nobody that's accustomed to Los Angeles is going to go out to Marshalltown, Iowa. That is a shock to somebody's system. That is a Californian. Marshalltown, Iowa is about 2.5 hour drive from her in Omaha, or from Omaha, Nebraska, reasonably, in my opinion. It's 2.5 hours. So I feel like she met somebody there to drop off her daughter. I felt like whoever she moved to Iowa to see, to run from her prior family to save her daughter from being taken from his side of the family, she fled to Iowa. Well, now the state's after her. Her daughter hasn't been completing her homework. The state was, sending out, the county, Lompoc Unified School District, was starting the truancy protocol. That means emails, telephone calls, coming to the house, door knocking, trying to put eyes on the child. I don't understand why she didn't just produce the child. Why didn't she just produce the child or have the child start completing her work? Obviously, her child was with her and happy and healthy. And we don't know happy, but we have to say at least healthy. She was moving. She's alive. We see her. She is perfectly fine on October 7th. So why didn't she just have her start doing her work? I mean, there's a lot of weird questions here that don't make sense, but the most telling of all of them, and I've looked at this and I have to concur. We found out last night, that this child appears to be wearing a wig. Why? I don't know. Is it possible that her mom flipped out and shaved her head? And she didn't want the school knowing about it. She didn't want maybe this happened 2 months ago. And she was scared for her daughter to be seen on her homeschooling. Maybe. I don't know. And maybe that's why she decided not to have her do that. Maybe she decided to put her in a wig to alter her appearance. That's another option. Maybe she just wanted to alter her appearance. It is a straighter, but I looked at the hair color, and unless she's dyeing her 9-year-old child's head black, that is a very dark black hair color. Her daughter's hair is not black. It's brown. It's a dark brown, but it's brown. And that wig was black. So we heard that her mom wore wigs. Well, they were going on a long extended road trip. So maybe her daughter wanted to wear the wig. You know, maybe that's what she had to do to get her out of the house to go on the trip. I don't necessarily believe that's the case. I do believe she was trying to alter her appearance slightly. Why? I don't know. I don't know if there's really a difference between a black wig with straight hair and a brown hair with brown curly hair. You know, I don't know if it would that color. Like if you're dark hair, I would say go light, right? Not going from brown to black is not going to change your appearance that much. Just in my opinion. But again, she did flee the state, folks. She fled the state. She fled the state to keep her daughter from being taken by her deceased father's family. They were trying to adopt her daughter, and she fled the state. So now she's got the school after her and up her crawl, instead of just producing her daughter and finishing up the freaking schoolwork. I don't understand why it seems like she created this mess for no reason. I do too. I really do. Because again, why Nebraska? And then when you look at Nebraska, why does she, and we've said this from the beginning, since we started talking about this case, we never understood this. I mean, I pointed it out. I'm like, there's this Iowa property in the middle of all this California. I don't know how clear I could have been on it. You know, she's from California. What in the world would make her go to Iowa? And so somebody had said, you know, something on the lines of, well, maybe before Rubiel died, maybe they were together and he was working in Iowa. And I thought, well, it seems like the family would have brought that up at some point, that, you know, he was in Iowa, or that she knew somebody, you know, in that area of the United States. But I find it awfully funny that there's only been one other time she's fled the state. Did you guys hear me? There's only been one other time she's fled the state, and as you guys are reading, it's because his family was trying to adopt her daughter. And guess what? She fled the state to Iowa. Why? Obviously, she knows somebody there. Nobody just goes to an oddball place and says, oh, I'm going to stay here, and knows nobody. And even if she did do that, obviously she must have met somebody being there, because I'd have to think she was there for 6 months to a year potentially before she tried to come back. One, it's very expensive to make that kind of travel. But she tried to make sure her daughter wasn't taken from her. Those are all good things, in my opinion, you want to hear when you have a situation like this. She's done this before, folks. She's done this before. I couldn't just hire a detective to follow her, she said. She said when she went to Ashlee's mother's house, this is where my other, if you guys are associated with our Facebook group for this case, if one of my mods want to drop the Facebook group in here, that would be great. Please go over there and sign up because I'm dropping some stuff. This is where I'm starting to say that Grandma, Ashlee's mom, might know more than she's letting on. She certainly might know more than she's letting on. Because listen to this. When the family went over, they went over to her mother's house, Lori Miranda. She said, I couldn't hire a detective to follow her, and said she went to Ashlee's mother's house. Ashlee's mother's house, Lori Miranda, to seek answers, and Lori Miranda told her not to come there again. And then soon after, Ashlee filed a restraining order preventing any further contact. So Mom would have known why she fled to Iowa. Somebody needs to be law enforcement. You guys need to start taking the screws to Miss Lori. You need to be taking the screws to Miss Lori. I'm sorry. She knew why she fled to Iowa the first time. Iowa's too damn close to Nebraska for me to think that there's not something here. There's not something here. There's a reason why she went to Nebraska. I'd be finding out where she stopped in Nebraska for 15 or 20 or 30 minutes and find out what cell phones were around her at that time. I would certainly be doing that. I would certainly be doing that. She met up with somebody. And this is starting that it's just too close to Nebraska's too close to Iowa for comfort. We know she fled to Iowa before. She fled to Iowa to prevent Rubiel's family from adopting her daughter. Now she's in a pickle again. Her daughter looks like she's about to be taken from her again. And boom, boom, boom. She has no daughter. She's not cooperating with law enforcement. So somebody knows. There's somebody over in that section of the United States that she's friendly with and she knows. Do we know of any family? Start putting some feelers out there, folks. If you guys are in Nebraska, take her missing person flyer and start popping it in your missing person stuff until we start getting something. Maybe somebody's going to say, ooh, I saw that little girl. We need to be putting both photos in there because the girl came in with a wig on. The little girl had a wig on. Guys, as you're coming in, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Background check Ashlee's mom. Okay, let's do that real quick. Let's see what we can find out for Ashlee's mom. Give me a second. There she is, Lori Jean Buzzard. Okay. Got the right lady. She's 64 years old. So Mom has lived over several different places. Mom's lived in mostly California, but Mom has ties to North Attleboro, Massachusetts, and Texas. Let me see who her ex-husband is. Hold on here. Relatives. Richard Buzzard. Let's look at this one. Looks like her dad's all California. Huntington Beach, Santa Ana. Okay, let's just keep going. Jose Miranda. Jose Miranda. Lexington, Nebraska. Jose Miranda. We got somebody in the family associated with Nebraska, folks. It looks like her uncle. We have somebody from Nebraska. We have Nebraska, folks. We have Nebraska. Mom's side of the family. Her brother, 2014, Lexington, Nebraska. But Nebraska is where she went. Kansas is only where she drove through to go turn around and head back home. What part of Texas? Hold on, let me look. Mom's Texas. Where is Texas? Grand Prairie, Texas. It looks like she was there for a while, from 2006 to 2024, but I could be wrong. So maybe she dropped her, but not necessarily the brother, not necessarily her uncle. But we now know if the uncle is out there, then we've got most likely cousins and other relatives. I mean, for us to make a connection with an uncle to her mother, her brother's name is, so Lori Miranda is the mom. And Lori Miranda's dad, or brother, because he said it looks like he's an older brother. He's 70. She's 64. He's 71 years old. And his name is Jose B. Miranda. Or he's, because her name's Miranda, so she's either remarried. But this is off of West 9th Street in Nebraska. So we have family from her mom's side that's associated in Nebraska. So we have familial connections in Nebraska, folks. So this idea to now, I'm starting to feel a little more comfortable that this child is alive. Grandma knows more. I knew that coming into this show today, but I'm glad you guys made me do some checking on her. But in my opinion, Grandma knows more. Grandma, Lori Miranda, the one that says, oh, my daughter is too bipolar. I just couldn't deal with her anymore. I just had to leave her. I haven't talked to her in a year and a half because her mental illness was so bad. Everybody keeps saying mental illness. I don't believe in the mental illness. Mental illness don't make you do terrible things. But now I don't think she's unalived her child because she has a history of running away from home, right? She has a history of running away from home when people are coming to get her daughter because she's unable to care for her. Remember, she's got an older child that she doesn't have in her care right now either. Destiny. Her other child's not in her care. Okay, this is a mother struggling to keep her daughter, what she classifies in her brain, safe. Because she thinks the county and the states are monsters, right? And she doesn't want anybody taking care of her daughter. It might be her mental illness being there. Did Grandma say she didn't know anyone in Nebraska? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So I don't believe Lori Miranda. I believe Lori Miranda is a mom. We know moms. We can look at BJ Howell, which is Leilani Simon's mom. Real piece of work right there. Piece of, right? BJ Howell wanted to come up and stick her phone. She's lucky I wasn't 20 years old. I would have laid that old bat on the ground. I'm glad I'm not the woman I used to be in my 20s. I'm glad. Very intuitive. Well, I just knew there was just something eating at me because it's like, why Nebraska? We know the behaviors of animals, okay? We monitor the behaviors of animals, all the time. And one thing we know about animals is that whether they off the offspring, it's places that they're comfortable with. It is places that they know that they can get away with murder, So we're learning that Lexington, Nebraska. Now that's not saying that this person lives there anymore. This is just saying that we found a connection on mom's side of the family. Jose Miranda has an address in Nebraska. There's something that I know that now, because I could not figure out, you guys know for 2 or 3 days now, I've been scratching my head about this Iowa address and why would she go in the middle of nowhere, so far away from the state of California when her entire life is in California. Well, now it makes sense. She was fleeing from her prior family. She was fleeing from her deceased dad's family. They wanted to take her. They didn't think Ashlee was able to take care of her. So they wanted to adopt her, and Ashlee got her back, fled the state, put a restraining order on the family, and Grandma, her mother, Lori Miranda, was telling that side of the family to get bent. So that's that. When I read this article this morning, my mind changed about Grandma. Grandma knows more. I knew that coming into this, but now that you guys told me to go and look at Truthfinder, which I had not done prior to this. Oh, Mima. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. It's nice to see you. Where was Melodee last seen? Melodee was last seen in Santa Maria trying to rent a vehicle. I believe the October 7th sighting was in Santa Maria, California, not in Lompoc. I think what we're looking at is a Santa Maria background and area. I think that's where the rental cars were and are. It sounds like that's about 20 minutes from Lompoc, where she lives. So thank you guys. I'm looking forward to the first. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you, Mimi Ma. Plant Lady, it's nice to see you. Nero, good morning, guys. Good morning. So if you guys are coming in here, we have some breaking news. So Mom, for those people that are just coming in, haven't seen the first part, please go back and watch it on the replay crew. I really appreciate it. Alcoholic. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on your way in or on your way out. Just take a moment right now and hit that thumbs up button for me. Now, what we've got here is a situation where a 9-year-old child is missing from Lompoc, California. We learned from law enforcement that the mom rented a white Chevy Malibu with the license plate 9MNG101, and she took that car and went from Santa Maria, from the dealership or the rental place, to Nebraska. She drove to Nebraska and then kind of on her way back went through Kansas to turn around and head back. It appears that she came back home on October 10th. By October 14th, law enforcement was out in front of her house demanding, "Where is your daughter?" A picture of her daughter was provided. This is the photo right above my head. We found out that photo was from 2023, and we had no updated photo of this child since. And that might be, we thought that the mom didn't have any photos, but I don't believe that to be true either. I believe the mom may have updated photos of her daughter, but because she's not cooperative and she doesn't want law enforcement looking for her daughter, she did not provide those photos as part of her uncooperative nature that she is. And I believe that maybe this was provided by other family members, or maybe at minimum the school. Maybe this was a school photo. One of those types of situations may have been. But either way, we knew coming into this case that this was not the right photo. One of the first things I did was start getting a collection of information and documents together related to her, and started opening up a file for her missing person for me to start working on it. And part of that is pulling a background check of her mother. And so one of the glaring things in this background check was this address in Iowa. And so at first I thought, because sometimes these reports that are available to the public sometimes have inaccurate information in them. And so those inaccurate, so I thought maybe this was an inaccurate information. And after I did a little bit of due diligence, I realized, no, it's not inaccurate. She was in Iowa. And so I was just like, why Iowa? Why Iowa? It seems so weird. How would she know anybody in Iowa? A person that's fleeing from anything or is on money problems, they're going to go to the closest, cheapest next county over or next state over and get a place close to family. They're not going to go and drive into the middle of the country and set up shop in a place that they know nobody. That is absolutely the most insane thing I've ever seen. Has it happened? I'm sure it has happened, but it is a low probability. Like, what the hell is this Californian doing in Iowa, right? And so I couldn't figure it out. And it's been weighing on my shoulders. I've been talking about it for days and trying to get somebody to, maybe give me some information or come across this and hear about it or whatever the case may be. Well, that's not the case. So I finally get this article. I'm reading articles, I'm taking notes, I'm trying to find out any little tidbit of information, of factual information, and then boom, we get it. The family, Rubiel's family, her father's side of the family. Now, mind you, her father lost his life 6 months after she was born. I knew she was in postpartum depression. I knew that the loss of this man probably triggered something in her, and I was right, because there's another article we're going to read that says exactly that, and that's what I was trying to talk about. But you know what? Now we found out that, yes, she did flee the state. Yes, the family was trying to take this child away from her, and she was not having any part of it. Now we know why she was in Iowa, why she fled to Iowa. But why Iowa? There has to be somebody there that she knows. Nobody's going to frickin' Iowa. She would be better off going to Las Vegas. It's closer to California. She'd be able to hide in the sea of people. Property out there is fairly cheap to live in, and she will still be close to her home and her friends in California. But no, she went to Iowa. Why? Well, that's when that article and the boom happened. We found out that the grandmother tells us she fled the state. Then everything makes sense. Why this weird place out of the state of California when she lived in California her whole life? And there we have it, because they were trying to take her daughter and she fled, and she just so happens to flee in the same direction when the school is coming after her kid. She's got family there, she's got friends there, and somebody's hiding something. And then for us to have Grandma Lori Miranda, her mother, on an interview saying, we don't know anybody in Nebraska, and to find out Jose Miranda has an address in Nebraska, and it's like, well, is he your brother-in-law, or is he your brother? It's one or the other. And how would you not know he's not in Nebraska, or he's in Nebraska? What are the likelihood that we have an entire family from California, and we have a woman that fled to Nebraska, and there's no contact or no family in Nebraska? Probably slim to none. Probably slim to none. So now we have Uncle Jose B. Miranda, 71 years old, born October 1954. Alias is Jose B. Miranda, Jose Miria Hahara. It's spelled MiorandabA. So it's MiorandabEJAR. And he is in Lexington, Nebraska. And his ties, his other property, and that's the only, like, he's lived there his whole life. That's the only property they've got listed for this man. It is the only property they have listed for it. He doesn't have 15 different properties he's ever lived. He's got one. And it's in Lexington, Nebraska. Oh, here's some more. We got another Jose A. Miranda in Deming, Nebraska. Claudia, she has a whole family in Nebraska. Heriberto Miranda. Let's just keep reading the family members. Let me tell you how many family members she has. She's got Pablo Miranda Rodriguez, Lexington, Nebraska. Maria A. Miranda, Lexington, Nebraska. Louise Miranda, Santa Maria, California. Cecile Miranda Rodriguez, Lompoc, California. I think we found our connection, folks. I think we found our connection, and I believe this child's alive, which is a good thing. which is a good thing. We're kind of a cross between political and true crime. The political channel might be, yeah, I know. I think we found our connection here. So we've got Jose A. Miranda, Deming, New Mexico. Deming, New Mexico. Heriberto, New Mexico. We've got Cozad. So we got Adrian, 32. So this might be a cousin. Adrian Miranda Rodriguez, 32 years old, in Cozad, Nebraska. We've got Jose Miranda in Deming, New Mexico. Claudia in Deming, New Mexico. We've got Mauricio Miranda in Santa Maria, California. Lori Jean Buzzard, also known as what? Lori Jean Miranda in Santa Maria, California. We got Louise E. Miranda, Santa Maria, California. Jesus Miranda Behar, Bellflower, California. Jose B. Miranda, Santa Maria, California. Jose G. Figueroa. That was really bad. Figueroa. Jose Figueroa, Santa Maria, California. So it's her mama's side of the family. That's Nebraska. We need to go back and look at. Let me look up grandma's Lori Miranda interview.
$2,025. He would get $2,500. He would get $25 now.
Yeah, we don't want to hear ya. I think this might be the interview. We'll see. I might have to go and do some search. Nice vehicles and equipment there, 777. I love nothing but to auction on your stuff. Gotta be honest with you, I love auctioneers.
Site. We're adding new items every single day.
Ooh, I love the campers. We need to upgrade the Bullhorn Betty channel.
I'm Christopher Berez, your community reporter in Vandenberg Village. It's been nearly a week since 9-year-old Ashlee Buzzard was reported missing. On Monday, I sat down with her grandmother, who is speaking out publicly for the first time. She shares with me warning signs in Melodee's mother's mental health, and also shares a deeply personal message that she hopes her granddaughter will hear.
Mental health. I think it's drugs.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
My name is Crystal. Are you Lori?
Yes.
Thank you,
Hi,
Daffy
Lori.
Dog.
I'm with KSBY News. I've been following along. I can come inside. Lori Miranda says she first learned her granddaughter was missing when law enforcement called asking if she knew where the child was.
Okay. So this is one thing I'm going to say, is that Rubiel's family went to this lady to ask where her daughter was when they tried to get custody of their daughter, and she told them to leave and never come back. So, in my opinion, she knows. And she helped her daughter flee before. And I think she is up to her neck in this. I don't care. Has she seen her granddaughter in a year, 2 years? I don't know. I'm skeptical now. I'm skeptical by her story. Because that is just off. So, I mean, we've got connections to Nebraska. So why Nebraska? Because of this lady's family. This lady is Lori Miranda. She used to be Lori Buzzard. Okay? So she obviously, her husband is no longer her husband, Richard Buzzard. They're either divorced or he's deceased. Everything I looked at, it looks like they might be divorced because he seems like he's still breathing. So she must have remarried, or she went back to her maiden name, which is Miranda. So one of the two things happened. So Jose Miranda is either her brother or her brother-in-law, because she is Now, Lori Miranda, not Lori Buzzard. I trusted her. I felt bad for her. But you guys even know yesterday I was like, really? So she has mental illness and you just can't handle it, huh? Just couldn't go over there and check on them, nothing. And then we find out that this lady helped her daughter flee before. I don't trust her now. Because once you lie or you've been deceptive, now I've got to question everything you say. So even though she didn't lie to me, we know that she's lied in the past, and therefore we have to question everything that she is saying and doing. I don't trust Grandma. See how that works?
He said, "Did you know that your granddaughter was missing?" And I said, "Missing?" He goes, "When's the last time you talked to your daughter?" I said, "I don't know, 2 years, a year and a half ago."
The search for Melodee began last week when authorities were notified about her extended absence from an independent studies program. Investigators say her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, has not been cooperating and will not say where her daughter is. Miranda says Ashlee's mental state had drastically declined since 2016, raising red flags around the time Melodee was 6 months old. Miranda said she was planning to drop by her daughter's house when Melodee was only an infant. That's when she got a call from authorities.
About 15 minutes later, a sheriff calls me. He says, "I'm at your daughter's house in Orchid."
So this is when they were in Orchid. This was when Melodee was just an infant, and this is a situation. I believe this is when she brings in Destiny, potentially, because a lot of people didn't realize she has another daughter she doesn't have in her care.
I was just getting ready to take your granddaughter Melodee with me to CPS because we're getting ready to take your daughter to the hospital.
When Miranda arrived, she says the house was a mess.
Couldn't believe it was my daughter. I mean, the house was in disarray. There were raw eggs in pans. There was rotten food in the fridge that I think she was trying to give my granddaughter.
Still, she claims Ashlee struggles mentally.
Everybody's dragging her around when she should be at the hospital. And you should be talking to her there instead of everybody rattling her cage and then trying to act like they're trying to help.
In this latest...
So she's like, look how she's acting. Her daughter's this victim, And maybe in part her daughter is a victim. But look at what her daughter is doing. Her daughter is victimizing, other people.
Investigation involving Melodee's disappearance. Investigators believe Ashlee drove her daughter to Nebraska in a white Chevy Malibu earlier this month, more than 1,070 miles from her current Vandenberg Village home, before returning to California.
We want the public to think back to the 7th to the 14th. Did you see a mom and a daughter in this vehicle?
Miranda says she has family as far as Ohio, but does not know anyone in Nebraska. Because this case crosses state lines, the FBI is now assisting.
So Ohio, but not Nebraska. Well, I don't believe that. I mean, we've got Nebraska addresses in Lori's family, Lori Miranda's family. Okay? So is Lori Miranda, is the Miranda her maiden name? Or is Miranda remarried? We need to find that out, because this guy is either her brother or her brother-in-law. And I can't imagine her not knowing she's got nieces and nephews in Nebraska. So I don't trust Grandma now. I'm starting not to trust Grandma. Something's not right here, okay? I don't know what it is. I can't tell you. I'm from Florida, right? I'm not out here. I'm not out here. But if you guys are in Nebraska, maybe we need to start knocking some doors in Nebraska. Maybe we need to start knocking some doors in Nebraska. Do we have any pro bono PIs in Nebraska that's willing to give us some time? I think I kind of do feel that way. Yesterday I wasn't feeling that way. I wasn't liking the way Mama's looking. I'm getting all kinds of bad vibes, bad juju. If she can't rent a car, then who rented the mount? I think she could rent a car then. Just breathe. I really think she could have. Mama, Nana Philly, good morning. I hope you're doing well. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a little concerning here. Little concerning here. But let's not act like there's nobody that, let's see, can rent, possibly Miranda. Now, I think she rented the car herself. She had to have known somebody. She had to have known somebody in Iowa to move to Iowa. Who owned that property that she went to stay in? She tried to rent a car this week and was rejected, but I think she was rejected because of her credit cards, you know, because you got to have credit cards to do that, and you have to think that she's not making any money, and I'd hope that her Social Security payments have been stopped, you know, where she's not getting any money. Lori straight up lied and says she doesn't know anybody in Nebraska. Yeah, and I can't imagine. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I can't. I don't want to put this all up here because I don't know if that's violation of privacy or not. But I mean, I'm looking at this. There's a lot of family. Miranda, you know, the Miranda side of the family. Now, is there other? Maybe this is just a coincidence, right? But we have West 9th Street in Lexington, Nebraska. And then when we look in here to the relatives, we've got the relatives all associated with Lompoc, Santa Maria, California, which is exactly where this young lady has lived her entire life, except with one address in Iowa. So now the next question is the Miranda name her mother's maiden name? Or is it, did her mom remarry? Let me look at this background and check for her mother again. Let me just look at it. I've got it up here. Let me see who the possible relatives are. Let's look at the relatives on mom's side of the family too. So Richard Buzzard is her father. And Mercedes Miranda's here in Florida, and that might be her sister or sister-in-law. Maybe I'll go over to the family here in Orlando and knock on their door and see if they can reach out to frickin' Jose. Find out if anybody has seen this child. Got a lot of little purged. So Mama's been in trouble before too. Grandma has misdemeanor. Not sure what for. It's been purged from the system. So Grandma's got some problems herself. 2002, 2003 misdemeanors. But it doesn't identify what those misdemeanors were for. She's got some minor traffic infractions. I mean, Grandma hasn't been in trouble in a while, it looks like, but no different than her daughter's criminal history, and some of her records go as far back as 2009. So it sounds like Mom was not, you know, she was a little problem child in Miranda's upbringing. Could Mom be partly responsible for, or not Miranda's, partly responsible for Ashlee being, you know, a basket case? Did she abuse Ashlee? I mean, we got some stuff here. Her mom moved around a lot as well. I don't know what to think about her mom. I really don't. We haven't even deep dived into Richard. Let me go to Richard. Oh, let me look at Richard's. I got Richard's up too. But I didn't see any connection in Doesn't look like she has a very good relationship with her. Oh, her dad died in 1998. Aw. He was 37. Yeah, they have ties to Nebraska from the mom's side of the family, so that explains it. Looks like her dad. Let me just look at the timeline real quick and make sure I've got that right. Hold on a second. Let me do the timeline. So he was born in 1951. Or excuse me, relatives. Okay, it looks like he was born 1961 February. He didn't get his Social Security issued until 1976, it looks like. Yeah, it's showing June 21st, 1998 that he died. Wow. And in 1998, she would have been 12 or 13 years old. That's sad. So she lost her dad young, and her daughter lost her dad young. Aw, it's sad. Well, you can kind of see why she's, no matter how you look at it, I'm kind of seeing the picture being painted here for her, you know what I'm saying? It's not looking good. Sometimes moving indicates DV. Transient. Well, for her to be pissed off at everybody, I mean, she just seems like she's just screw everybody, You guys have done nothing but make my shit worse, type of mentality, maybe. I think this is the most positive I've ever been about a situation like this. I really do. I'm starting to feel like this child truly might be okay, and that's what we would want. And I think the reason why she's being uncooperative is because she knows they're going to take her kid away from her. And I don't understand, I mean, I understand that the child needs to go to school, but the reason, if this is what we're looking at, the reason why she's doing all this is she's sick and tired of the county and the state taking her flipping kid. Everybody wants her damn kid. I would be, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword here, because it seems like if they could just support her a little more, maybe they wouldn't have as, the problems. But it sounds like the Social Security that they're giving her is just not enough, and maybe she's on substance. I don't know. I don't know what a good answer is here. I feel like I can see that, this poor girl feels like she's been shit on her entire life, and she's probably been taught completely wrong, because it doesn't sound like her mom's. I'm not really a fan of her mom for some reason. I don't know why, and I think it had a lot to do. Good morning, Mama Jax. It's nice to see you. A women's warrior. It's nice to see you. Support is key. Yeah, but it seems like her mom's kind of like a, I don't know what to say about her mom, but her mom, I don't trust her mom. I really don't. I mean, I trust that her mom probably hasn't been around her child, that her child frustrates her and she doesn't want it. She throws her hands up at her. I could see her mom doing that. It seems like her mom's done that her whole entire life. It sounds like her mom's got her own problems, her own history. It sounds like I mean, it's not really the worst thing in the world. I don't see any felonies in her history. I see some misdemeanors, but I can't figure out what those misdemeanors are for, But we did find a connection to Nebraska. And we found a connection to Nebraska on her mom's side, on Lori's side of the family. A lot of family in Nebraska. And so I wonder if the interior Malibu was returned in bad condition. Are they? I don't think so. Well, there is a reason why they refused to give her. But see, they might have refused to give her a rental because she had no credit card. She might have used the credit card, because you have to have a credit card And if all of her credit cards are at their max, if there's no credit cards to put a deposit on, right? If she had a credit card and she was able just to get by for that one rental that she just took, and the deposit for that one rental, and where did she get the money for that? We need to be following the money and looking at all our credit cards, which we can't do. Only law enforcement can really do unless we hire a private investigator. Now, again, if we have a private investigator out there in the Nebraska area or in the California, I do not want the unscrupulous PI. He let him deal with the David case. He's getting a lot of attention for a whole bunch of nothing on that case. I don't think he turned in. I think all these people are touting him on these channels without even seeing the evidence, and I think they're going to find out he once again misrepresented the evidence. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he got lucky, but I really don't think he did, because I feel like if somebody saw somebody drop the car off where it was dropped off at, and they could see who was in the car when they dropped that car off, then they should know that that's the person. Why has there been no arrests made in almost 3 weeks since he turned that in? It reminds me of when he said that, oh, we see Sebastian on the video, and come to find out it's Bobby's, or it's a guy. It's not even Bobby's son. It's another person trying to get their dog. You can see their dog on a leash or running around or something like that. And it wasn't Sebastian at all. And he went on all these things saying, oh, it's Sebastian, oh, it's Sebastian. Well, let me tell you something about this unscrupulous PI before many people don't know. Almost every single case, he tried to make it gay love. Okay, whether it was bisexual love with a woman or a man, all the cases always turned these things before Sebastian Rogers. That was our big thing. And now all of a sudden he's basically implying that David's friend and him are in a gay relationship, which is what we've heard for I don't know how many other cases prior to Sebastian Rogers from this same PI, and 0 out of 0 were accurate, except I think he got lucky one time on one case where there was a gay lover or something weird that happened. And I don't even think, and I might be giving him credit where the credit is not due. Fleeing the state is less expensive than a custody fight with attorneys, in my opinion. Yeah, that very well may be. That very well may be. But my question is, if she knows the state of California keeps, egging for her child, why doesn't she just stay gone? Why didn't she just flee with her kid to Iowa and just stay in Iowa? Why'd she come back? If she doesn't care for the family, doesn't have friends, doesn't have anything there, why did she come back? I just don't understand. This whole case is so weird. But I'm really starting to believe she took the kids somewhere to drop the child. This is I've never in my life thought that this would be the, outcome of one of these cases. We hope it is. But this is the first time that I really, truly feel like she truly is alive and healthy. And I pray that that's the case. But I do feel, and I said it yesterday, I feel like the mom's been through a lot of ups and downs with her daughter in 9 years. And if she didn't unalive her at this point, then why now? Why now? So I'm starting to see a little through the forest a little bit. I'm starting to see the trees myself. She is weird, but there's reasons why she's weird. I think there's something that we're not getting. I think she's been through hell and back. And I think people have put her through hell and back. And I think it comes down to the fact of her daughter and the fact that her daughter's father is deceased. And she might be one of these people that just can't stand to be in a room with a whole bunch of people that have tried to hurt her. And maybe that's why when she went, she just said she can't do this anymore and took the child and left. Because she knew that they tried to take her kid, and maybe she's trying to. Maybe she just can't do it. I can tell you, I would be that kind of like that. If you crossed me and there was something, I don't know if I could do it either. I really don't, and I feel like that's the way she felt. The family crossed her. They tried to take her kid, and I feel like she's like, oh hell to the nah. But now that we know she fled before, when somebody tried to take her kid. And now that we know how close the state was to taking her kid, they were knocking on her door when she fled. So she knew they were coming for her kid. She fled. She fled. She may have came back, but she fled. She fled. And she has her, she put her daughter somewhere. Well, we see that there's family in Nebraska. That's a positive. Is she with some family in Nebraska, or is this just a coincidence? I don't know. Anyways, pass this around. Guys, send me some emails. bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I've got to get showered. I got to get ready. I got to go see my best friend. It's her birthday weekend, and it is today Delilah's play date. So I appreciate all of you guys coming and hanging out with me. I'm sorry, I wish I could stay longer, but this is our show. We still have a lot of stuff to go over with this case that we have not been able to go over just yet, but I'm glad we were able to break and do some research, some behind the background research. But Lori Miranda, grandma that says we have family in Ohio but not in Nebraska. I found a whole slew of family in Nebraska. Jose Miranda. Anyways, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless, and we'll see you soon.